Hello. Okay. Here we are set up for this technique that I want to demonstrate. And I'm seated behind my model in order to show you how easy this technique is to execute. So you can do this while you're both seated, while your client is seated but you're standing, or you can execute this while the client is on the table. It's that simple. I would not recommend trying this while the client is standing, because if they get really relaxed, they might fall over. So we don't want that liability. So this is an extremely easy technique to execute, and let's get started on this. Okay, so the way this technique works is we find the collarbone, and everybody's clavicles are shaped differently. Hers are fairly straight, but a lot of people have very curved clavicles. And the reason I bring that up is because you want to execute pressure perpendicular to the clavicle, and we're coming under the clavicle. And the reason I mentioned that scale, the digital scale, is because you only want to exert no more than 3 ounces of pressure, okay? So we come just underneath the clavicle, perpendicular to the angle of the clavicle, about in the middle, and then we curve our finger, and that exerts a very slight upward pressure on the clavicle. Can you feel that?
Yes.
Okay. What will happen in the majority of instances is that after about 30 seconds, the chest wall muscles start releasing. Do you feel them releasing?
Yes.
Okay. What am I doing? Assisting the muscles in relaxing. And this is the technique. This is part 1. So the next movement in this series, this suite of techniques, is we are going to work on releasing the scalenes, which connect the base of the skull to the first rib. And the quickest way to find the first rib is to find the ears, come straight down, and then come behind the clavicle and in front of the supraspinatus, scapular muscle, and press inward, press downward. So we're avoiding nerves, we're avoiding the major blood vessels, we're going straight to the first rib. Now, in someone who's highly stressed, since the scalenes are tensioned, the first rib may be directly under the skin. Her first rib is down a ways, so she's probably not highly anxious. Feel that? Okay, so there we go. There's the first rib. And as you just apply, I think I'm using 3 ounces of pressure for this. Then the scalenes release because the pressure that's being applied to the first rib is not excessive. It's not enough to cross any thresholds that will trigger the body's defense mechanisms. So you can just hold it here for a little while. Feel that? Yes. How does this feel? How are you? What is your...
I'm getting sleepy.
Okay. The intended response, the hoped for response, is that you will feel relaxed, like you're waking up from a good nap. If you're getting sleepy, that's still okay. Okay, so then we back off. And when you release, even though you're just applying a couple of ounces of pressure, you do it slowly. So now we come back to the clavicle. Where'd you go? There you are. And we can use both techniques at the same time. We will use the second finger to apply pressure, upward pressure on the clavicle, and then use our index finger to apply downward pressure on the first rib. How does that feel?
Good.
Then to in the right spot?
Yes.
So this is where knowing how much pressure to apply becomes critical, because you don't want to break any bones, you don't want to injure anything, you just want them to enjoy this, relax, breathe more freely. Do you feel like you're breathing more freely?
Yes.
Okay. If you have a client on a there you go, there, everything just released. If you have a client on a table, this is my preferred first technique, because the more easily a client can breathe, the more relaxed they will be, and therefore the more effective your overall session. Now this was a very simple technique. It took 60 seconds perhaps to execute everything. Here we go. Notice the color in her face, the tension in her face, it's changed. Well, I intended her to feel revived, but if she wants to feel relaxed, that's her natural reaction. And that's a good one. Anyway, I hope this video was